So you know what it's like when you're shopping for a product like the DreamBaby gate, and you look at the reviews and you see it's wildly mixed. Lots of 5-star reviews, lots of 1-star reviews. So how can a product be so good and so bad at the same time? Well, let's install this gate. I'll take you through the installation instructions and why I think that you get good and bad reviews. Okay, so first we'll line up the template on the wall and we'll tape that onto the wall. And then we'll mark the spaces for each of the holes. Because I know that the area I'm drilling into here is solid, I won't need to use the raw plugs. Now, when you're installing this, probably err on the side of caution and have these two just slightly apart. So if you're marking the holes and you find that the holes you've marked are maybe just slightly below on the template, then just make sure that have them a little bit wider than a little bit closer. And that's so that you can pull that bar in and out of the latches fairly easy. When you lift up the bottom of the gate, you can see there's only about 10 or 11 centimetres. That wasn't enough space for our puppy to get underneath the gate. There we go. What are you doing? This is your new stair gate, or your corridor gate, I guess. Look at that. Push.
Right, and then you pull it.
You keep the post straight, lift up. Don't let go.
And you bring it all the way through. And then to bring it back, you push it down.
Push down,
you turn it. And you
pull it.
Pull it.
And you're going to pull just that, not that bar there. That's it.
Just keep on
You gotta
going.
keep on going. You gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on going. You gotta get into the bottom one, slide it across and get the top one in. But it's got to ratchet back like that.
It didn't
Otherwise
ratchet
it
until
doesn't.
it's folded back. Yeah. Freya. Like, Freya.
Yeah, but it's Marky, look.
Freya, look. Freya, look. Sit.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl. So let's take a look at some of the facts on the installation guide here. So the maximum opening you can do if it's mounted like I've mounted it, which is in between two walls, is 140 centimetres wide. So that's usually a little bit longer than most stair or passageway gates. If you're mounting it on the outside of the opening, then the maximum width you can do is 130 centimetres. So there are some accessories for this, and because I have a skirting board, I needed to buy the spacers. So these come in two colours, white and black, and there's two parts to each spacer. So you can put them together for a thicker spacer or just use one of them for a thinner spacer. 12.5 millimetres or ½ inch, and if you put them both together, it's for 1.9 centimetres or 3/4 inch skirting. So the gate comes with two sets of fixings, which means you can move the gate around, which is quite good. So on the non-gate side, so the latching side, you have two fixtures like that, and you use a template to put up against your wall, and that tells you where the fixing holes have to go. Once you come to start to drill your holes, I'd err on the side of caution and make sure that if the drill bit's going to slide or anything, that it gives more of an opening. When I installed the gate, I installed it what looked like to be exactly in the dimensions, and it was just a little bit too stiff to get the gate latching into one of the sides. Then you have these two parts here, the top one and the bottom one, and this one has a little clip for allowing you to pull the gate out. And also, see that image there, for the bit that goes on top of here to keep that in so the gate doesn't pop out. And these are the other parts of the spacers, and obviously didn't need to use them because I've just got ½ inch or 12.5 millimetre skirting board. So let's get on to some of the pluses and minuses of the gate. So why did I get 1-star review? I think that's down to this product being difficult to install. There isn't much tolerance for making any mistakes when you install it. Because it doesn't come with spacers, if you've got to install it in a house that's got skirting board, then the top ones are going to be a given distance apart, and the bottom ones are going to be just that little bit closer, so that when it's like that, you can see that this paper's starting to bow, and then that would give you a higher gap underneath for dogs or pets to get under. And if you install it with the spacers, if you've got skirting board and it's done taut like that, then it's not going to matter. You just have to be really exact in how you install this. Another complaint that people had was the noise, and yes, you can hear that when you install it. It is really noisy when you lift the gate across and try to install it. But if you hold down the catch and pull it along, then it doesn't make that noise. So that would be another reason why people are giving it a low rating, is because you need two hands to operate it. So you can't be carrying a baby or a dog or anything like that and hope to operate the gate at the same time. It's just not possible. Another reason that people may have given it a low rating is because when you pull it across, and in the way I installed it initially, the top and bottom parts here were just a little bit too close together. So that meant that the post was rubbing and it just was a little bit harder to get in. And what that actually does is that When you pull the gate in and you're going to latch it into these things here, you're actually pulling it across further than where this latch is, and then you're ratcheting it back so it locks into place. So some people are saying it's been able to be pulled out of here, then that's usually because they haven't used any spacers on the skirting board. So because that bottom bit's that little bit loose, it will be able to pop out. What are some of the positives of this gate? Well, it can be installed in wide openings, and that's one of the reasons why we got that gate. And yeah, I can't really think of too many more positives for that gate. On balance, yes, we've got it installed. Yes, we got it installed correctly. It's not exactly fun to use compared to other stair gates. It doesn't have the bar along the bottom, so there's no tripping hazard there, so that's another positive for it. But on balance, I think most of the negatives probably outweigh the positives. So being hard to install, the little bit of noise, the two-handed operation. Another benefit of this gate is that you can actually step over it. That's quite good. And if you put a little step in front of it, then that makes it easier for someone who's not as tall as me being able to step over. Some people say that their dogs can get underneath. Again, that's just because they haven't used the spacer kit in the installation. Some of them say that they can knock the catch out. Again, I think that's due to people not installing it with the spacer. On the whole, would I recommend this gate? Probably not. You really need someone who's quite technically minded to install it. Cheerio.